The mystery of men and women. What is God's good and wise design for women? When Adam is created, God the Creator says something puzzling. It is not good for a man to be alone. And we need to understand that in Genesis 1 to 3, good, Hebrew tov, is not used as a moral category. We could say as a functional one, not good. What would that mean? That it was not good functionally. Adam could not perform the Great Commission on his own. What was the Great Commission? Remember? To exercise loving dominion over creation. How could that be done? First, by being fruitful and multiplying. And there was no way Adam could do this on his own. So, no good. And then God Yahweh fashions for him a helper, someone who is fully fit and corresponding to Adam. And think about the analogy with the two pieces of jigsaw puzzle, different but complementary and perfectly fit, only both together forming the full picture. So the two of them can become one biological and social system, complete and fit for the greatest mission. Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. We can see that creation of woman differs from the creation of man. And this is quite remarkable and a bit playful. Remember, how was the creation of Adam described? God as a potter, forming Adam from the dust of the earth and then breathing into him the breath of life. And now Eve, that's a different story. A different material is used, arguably of much higher quality. The side of Adam, not the head, which means she's no higher than Adam, not the feet, she's no lower than Adam, but side. And thus we see the equality and the complementary nature of this God-given helper. Yes, but he called the woman a helper. What does that mean? For some ears, that may not sound too good. Helper? What is that about? But biblically speaking, here the word helper does not refer to someone's status. Not at all. It refers to the possession of certain gifts that the other person does not possess and which are needed to accomplish the mission. Do you know who else is called helper in both Old Testament and New Testament? Yes, God Yahweh himself, God the Holy Spirit is called a helper. Would that indicate that he is lower in his status than us? Not at all. More, there is an additional dimension to being a helper. Remember, man was created for mission. And now we learn that woman was created for relationships. For relationships. So, what are the unique purposes for women according to Genesis? And similarly as with men, they are highlighted both in Genesis 2 and Genesis 3, before and after the fall. First of all, the greatest gift, the greatest miracle, mystery, whatever we call it, to create and grow in her own body another life, another human being, another person, future generations. With woman Eve entering the story, they both together have what it takes to be fruitful and multiply. And this is the highest calling entrusted only to women. And this is not just about the creation of life as a 9-month journey. It is also about nurturing and caring, about raising these new human beings and preparing them for independent life. And that does take years and years of self-denying service. Now, some numbers to whet your appetite before the next session. How does contemporary research confirm the creation story? Stephen Rhodes in his book gives some insights. For example, 93% moms think that children are the source of their happiness. 90% says the same about their marriages, be fruitful and multiply. And only 60% will say it about their careers. See, there is only one truth about us, and the Bible and contemporary research both harmoniously point to it. And we will have much more on this in next session. Now remember what happened with Adam after the fall. The greatest impact was on his most important responsibilities. They become difficult. And now too often men just don't want to serve anymore. And similarly as for men, also for women, in Genesis 3 the consequences of the fall manifest in their most fundamental callings and makes child rearing more painful and challenging. But then it also affects their relationships. Your desire will be after your husband. What does that mean? This is a bit of mysterious saying. Most likely interpretation is this, that after the fall, women will not be satisfied and content with their God-entrusted callings, but will desire what God has entrusted to men. Her desire will be after man's callings, after his responsibilities. The fall turns God's harmonious design upside down. After the fall, men don't want to serve, but want to be served. Women don't want to be helpers in God's great mission, but they see men's life and responsibilities as more appealing. Does this ring a bell? Where have we seen this? Doesn't this remind us of our society? And this is where we are today. This is where we are today. True. Summarizing, women are designed and created for relationships, companionship, for creation of new life, for loving care, and all of that in self-sacrificial service to others. And thus the creation account reveals what truly gives meaning and purpose and fulfillment for women if they embrace their God-given mission. And thus the creation account gives us the big picture of God's design for our lives. And to be wise is to acknowledge His gifts and our unique differences, celebrate, cultivate, and enjoy them. Only that way we can hope for truly happy and fulfilling lives. Only embracing God's design for our lives leads to shalom and fulfills our deepest longings. And this applies to us both as individuals and also thinking about our marital relationships. We need to understand ourselves, who we are, what we are made for, what we long for deep in our hearts. And then, by God's grace, we can strive to live accordingly. We are equal, yes, no doubt, but also we are different. And these differences are good, great, wonderful. Let us rejoice in them.